Welcome back, gamers. Jay Hammy here. I decided I'm going to start a new series for beginners with TI coming out soon, and a lot of new players. I've seen a lot of stuff on Reddit lately. People trying to get better, new players, how to learning these concepts they don't know. So I'm going to make this little video about stacking and pulling, and just kind of paying attention to the clock more, and just kind of thinking about when to do it and when not to do it. So we're looking at this game. I don't know if I mentioned this, but like and subscribe to the YouTube. If you like the video, I'm going to have more beginners videos coming out. Going to try to put out at least one a week. And I also stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jhammy. So if you want to come by and watch me play, throw a follow on the stream. That'd be sick. So anyways, here we go. First, we're going to look at this game. It was in the Western European qualifiers. And you have down here, we're going to look at the safe lanes for both teams a little bit. So down here, we have Venge and Medusa against LC and SD. So these two can't really pressure Medusa like that hard. So Venge in this lane is probably going to want to do a lot of pulling. And on the flip side of that, on this side, you have Gyro and Clockwork against Dawn and Coddle. So Dawn can actually really pressure Gyro a lot. They have kill threat on him, and is going to need Clockwork to actually help him in the lane more, because that's something you want to think about too. Like when you're going to pull, what impact is that going to have on your carry? Is your carry going to be fucked while you're gone, or can your carry be fine while you're gone? So in this lane, my thoughts are that Medusa will be okay if the Venge pulls, and in this lane, Gyro is going to have trouble being by himself for a little bit, and they can threaten him whenever the pull is happening if they want to. So we're going to get into this game. Another thing I really want to talk about on this video is paying attention to the clock. You have to pay attention to the clock because you have to know when to stack, you have to know when to pull, and you have to plan for those things and have those things, before it's time for them to happen, you need to have them ready to happen, So, also, you want to know when the runes are spawning. You want to know when the lotuses are spawning. When it's going to be 3 minutes, you want to be at the lotus pool to get the lotus. So you have to plan for that. You have to know, like, okay, I need to be there right at 3 minutes. So these are the things I need to do to where I can be there at 3 minutes, whatever that may be in the given game. So you see, they've warded this pull. Venge has warded this pull so that they can't do any sort of pull here. I will talk about the pull times a little bit later in the video, but just kind of wanted to give you guys my thoughts on what's happening so far. And in this game, you're not going to see a lot of contesting over this pull because, like I said, Clock has to kind of stay with Gyro so that Gyro can farm. So let's skip ahead a little bit here. It looks like this is going to spawn at 2 and this is not. So you're going to see SD here. He's going to want to pull this. Or Venge, Venge is going to want to pull this. Medusa's just farming, so Venge is kind of hanging near to here, but he doesn't want Shadow Demon to stop the pull, so he's trying to get vision here, so if he needs to stun him, he can. He's giving up this block for it, but he's going to get this pull. So when you're playing with Radiant, you can pull a lot later and still get the pull with the way it's set up because the camp is so close to the creeps. So you can pull it. You can pull it at kind of just a normal time, but you'll see it's kind of a theme in this video of the supports are getting the pulls, but then they're not sticking around for the pulls. This is just to get the lane back to where they want it. He wants Medusa to be farming as safely as possible, so he pulls the 3 creeps here to deny some of this wave so that Medusa can farm under tower. He doesn't care about getting the gold and the XP. That's something when you're playing support, like you make the pull, you don't necessarily want to stick around and get the last hits on those creeps and get the XP. You're kind of just wanting it to get the lane into a better position for your team. Now, sometimes you do stick around, but if it's sacrificing your Medusa, you don't want to, it's not good. So you'll see he goes for the sentry back. SD gets the sentry block off again. Now, this is something that's important to understand about pulling. The creeps will pull if the creeps are attacking you in range of your creeps. The creeps will come to it. So even though SD's trying to contest this pull, Venge just has to get the creeps to attack him where his creeps can see it, basically. So he gets that to happen for 2 of the creeps, which is good. It's a half pull. Half pulls are great. That way they get denied. But SD's trying to stop it, and he knows he can get it anyways. So he gets the pull of the 2 creeps here. Super, super good. Because otherwise this lane is pushing back up to here, and the wave is up here. The wave would have met up here at full waves, and that's not where Medusa wants to be farming. So this is going to deny 2 of the creeps and get the wave back to where he wants it. Now, on the top side of the map, Clockwork has not pulled at all. He has not even thought about pulling. This was the camp that spawned at the beginning of the game. But here, now, the situation has changed, where, as you see, their lane is pushing. Their lane is pushing, so Clockwork will want to get this pull soon so that the lane can come back where Gyro can safely farm. So it's kind of like, different situations change, and you have to adapt those on the fly in Dota. That's just like how it goes. Clockwork wants to hug his Gyro this game and not get the pulls, but now the lane's pushing so hard that Gyro has nothing to farm. So he has to get the lane back for Gyro. So he's going to want to get this pull soon. So you can see the difference though. Vinge has already pulled twice. She's putting an emphasis on pulling. That's like her, one of her main goals is getting these pulls off. And Clockwork has not pulled at all, which I wasn't really showing it, but he's just been fighting with Gyro this whole time. So yeah, it's definitely important to understand what your carry is like needing from you. Does your carry want you right with him the whole time, or he can't farm? Because this Dawn and Coddle will go on him. Dawn is super scary for Gyro, with the kill threat. So you can see right here, if you're playing Clockwork right here, it's like, you have to get this pull. Like, look where the wave is, and it's even pushing further south. So Clock knows he has to get this pull. So Clock is going to start heading that way right about now, I would think. He's going to head there to get there just in time to make that pull. Because what's the point of being here now? Like, you're just standing around doing nothing. So you got to get the wave back. And when you're late on this pull, you can just pull it diagonally through these trees and get the pull that way. And as you see, the same thing that Vinge was doing, he doesn't care about staying around for the creeps. He wants to do something else. He doesn't want to be here. He pulls the wave just to get it in a better position for his Gyro, and then he hits the gate and he's going to gank bottom. So that's another, thing to really keep in mind. You don't just want to pull and sit there and farm the creeps. Sometimes you do, but you typically want to be doing more important things, if you can be, that are going to help your team more and help the game more. So that's definitely, I want to keep the video short, so I'm not going to keep going into this too much, but I definitely think that this was kind of a good way to show when you want to pull, when you don't want to pull, and then it also kind of showed how to pull. So as you saw here with Vinge, early on when you're playing, so typically the pull times for the small camps are anytime the clock hits 17 and 47. So that's, you want to be heading over there soon, 17 and 47. But with Radiant, the way Radiant is, and that's for both sides, for this side too. But the way they made it really easy to pull now. So you could pull it at 17, or you could pull it later than that, as you see Vinge do here, because he actually doesn't want to pull all the creeps. He wants to pull just 2 or 3 of the creeps. So Vinge is chilling. Vinge, and look when he actually attacks this camp. This is where you could pull right now and walk down here, and the creeps would follow you and meet and hit you right about here where the creeps are getting there. But with Radiant now, you can wait. I mean, look at this shit. He has a fucking huge window. He doesn't attack these creeps until 224. So there's a lot of leeway, especially on Radiant side, for pulling this small camp. And it makes it really, really easy. And then on Dire too, it's you could pull it here and meet the creeps right here, or you could wait 4 seconds and pull diagonally this way and still get the pull. So they're really forgiving. But typically the times have always been for small camps 17, 47. Anytime the clock's at 2, 17, 3, 17, 4, 17, or 47. And then for the big camps, if this camp was spawning, because you're getting a lot of situations in these games where this camp is spawning, your wave is pushing, you can't make it back to this camp. You just look at the time, you didn't plan it out good enough, or this camp isn't spawning because it's blocked or whatever. You can actually pull this camp as the Radiant, you pull it down diagonally this way and meet your creep wave that's walking up here. And to remember the timing on that, and it's same for if you're Dire, you can pull it up this way to meet your wave. The timing on that is you pull it when it stacks. So you want to pull that at 53 would be the minute, and plus the times 253, 353, or 23. So 23 or 53. So that's how you remember though. 53. So you want to pull this when it's going to stack. That's how you get this pull. And then and then obviously the other 30 seconds is not going to stack, but you can remember, oh, it's 53, so it's 23. It's 30 seconds later. So that's the pull if you want to get this pull as the radiant. Now, if you're playing dire and you're the 4 and you want to make this pull here, it's like 17 or whatever. But as the radiant, if you're pulling the big camp for yourself, 23, 53. So those are the times for the pulling. Last thing I want to touch on in this video, pay attention to the timer. At 2 minutes, what happens? Creep spawn. So maybe you want to stack. At water rune spawn, at 3 minutes, the lotus spawns, the bounty spawn. It is so important to pay attention to the time in the game as it's happening and have a plan based on that. If you have 2 bottle mids and the 4-minute water rune is going to spawn soon, like it's 3:30 and your lane's kind of pushing, you don't really have much to do, go get the water rune, ping your mid to go get the other one, and then you're denying a rune from Ember. So it's just important to pay attention to the time. Now that so many things happen in Dota, it's so much more important to pay attention to the time. At 6 minutes, the lotuses spawn, water or power rune spawns. 7 minutes, the wisdom spawn. It's like important to plan for all these things that happen. So just pay attention to the timer, get the stacks when you need to, and get stacks up, pull when you need to, and just kind of do what your team needs you to do to win. Just think about, like, if you were this Medusa, would you want stacks or do you need my help? Like, what's the situation in the lane? Do they have a lane that can threaten my Medusa or not? And in this case, not really. I mean, LC doesn't really threaten Medusa until he hits level 6. So I mean, and in this lane, Gyro does threaten, or Dawn does threaten Gyro. So it's just important to think, like, okay, if I leave, is my carry going to die, or is my carry fine and okay with getting a little solo XP while I'm pulling? And are they going to get denied every creep while I'm gone? Like, it's important to kind of think about those things and not just be brain dead and just pulling or whatever. Because some lanes, I play carry. Some lanes, I don't want my support to pull. I need my support with me the whole time. And other times, get the fuck away from me. Go pull, dude. What are you doing? So it's just important to kind of use your brain, pay attention to the timer, and just think what's going to help my team win this game. So anyways, I'm going to cut the video there. This is the first video in my new series. I think I'm going to call it DOTA2 for Noobs, although I'm still kind of working on the name. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Come by my Twitch, twitch.tv/jhammy, and hit me with a follow. So anyways, see you later, gamers. Peace out.